Hey, this is Ed&Enita. Me and my daughter are going to show you a little bit of the vacuum here. It's the Ego vacuum. I'm going to show you because this is what we deal with all the time, because we have this guy out here who tramples in, all kinds of dirt and sand and bird seed and everything. Just to show you how easy and quick this thing works. Hey, this is Ed. I wanted to show more detailed usage and operation of this because it's a little more complicated than I thought for certain things. Like I was putting things in the wrong places and didn't know everything. I read the manual, so I have a real detailed information about this one. Anyway, it comes with all the different parts. You can see the hose attaches, clips on really nice, but you can take that off for any reason. This hose also swivels completely, has airflow. So you can basically, if you get caught on something, you can immediately just let the airflow, let the air in, and that will allow it to basically let it go, like if it's for curtains or something like that. Okay, and then it's got these two attachments for extenders, and this is your normal brush. Let's say if I'm doing floors or something like that, it gives it a maybe about not quite a foot, maybe about 10 inch. Anyway, these guys store on the back of here, okay? They store nicely here, and this one also stores like so, okay? So that one stores like that. The battery, oh, I'm sorry, you have a little clip here. You just pull it up, and that'll release the battery on here, okay? Make sure you line it up. I would clean it, I kind of clean it off because it gets dirty. I use this for all kinds of different Ego tools. So make sure you line it up and clip it on tight. Okay, and then let's turn this back around. Okay, we'll show you basically how it opens. It has these unlock buttons here and on the other side. That way it allows you to pick it up. You can see the filter here. It's a beast. I've already used it a little bit, and the filter doesn't look like it's really touched at all. Let's see about the bag too. The bag, wow, the bag's not really full much at all. I'm gonna have to buy the bags, but I cannot find these bags right now. So I looked all over the place and they don't have them available as far as I'm aware. If you know where to get them, just send me a comment or something. I cannot find them. But anyway, very easy to take the bags out or put them in. There is a little, what do you call it? Like you just lift it up slightly and it'll slide off. I don't know if you saw that. So you just slide it back on and then it falls into its little place. And you can see now it doesn't kind of shift around. Okay, very easy to do that. So to change these would be super simple. And if you want to remove it and turn it into a wet vac, then you can do that. Now, I would not suggest using any chemicals for this. Okay, chemicals like oil and other things will just eat away this plastic. That's my opinion. I would not do that. I would only use soap and water, and I probably will only use like, you know, mud, dirt, soap, water. I wouldn't use anything that's an unnatural thing, any chemicals specifically. Like I wouldn't throw a bunch of chemicals on the floor and then suck them up that way. I wouldn't do that. You know, I would just use soap and water for that if I was using the wet vac for that. Pops back on, very simple. You just leave it there and you just clip it back on. It's good to go. It's very solid. This is a storage, which I didn't even know it was there, for your crevice device, okay? That also has a light on the end of it. So here, let me pop it back in and I'll show you. So you line that straight up with the remote and then you can see the light there. Okay, it's pretty bright. I mean, I've used it a little bit because underneath couches, stuff like that, wherever, it's pretty neat. Obviously, if you add the extenders on there, you won't get that. You know, it won't show. You'll have the regular light, but you won't have this if you add the extenders on it, you know. So, and then you have your light button, your start turbo, but it won't start unless you turn it on first. So you have to turn the unit on first before you can do anything else. Then you check the speed. You can put the speed 1, which is okay just for most things. Like sand, it probably wouldn't pull up as well. Like I was just doing sand, so I'd have that on 2. Or you can even use it on turbo. And you can hit the stop-start remote right on the attachment. So when it comes to taking off this attachment, or any attachments like this, you want to use the clip. You don't want to just try to pull it out. You're going to break that clip eventually inside. So you just use that clip and then pull it out. You don't want to break the little piece inside. You know, you can put it on that way and clip it on. That's fine. But don't try to pull them off without engaging that clip. Okay. And then that has a nice storage. Everything stores on the unit, as far as I'm aware. You have your brush. This is a dust brush, which works great. I mean, I've used it, you know, I can use it on other surfaces, and it actually works really well for sucking stuff up too. So it'll dust up different things. So the dust brush is good because you can get into other crevices and corners, and if you have a lot of trinkets and stuff like that, you know, the brushes are a little bit hard, so you got to be careful. You don't want to knock stuff over, but that's not too bad. And then let's pop that off. And then you have also on board a smaller version, the smaller vacuum. So if you want to get into other places, and it has it's almost like Velcro. It's like I can't even describe it. It's a little bit of like a kind of a Velcro, so you can slide it over the surface. Again, you want to pop that in. You'll see that it won't stay in unless you line it up. See? So I line it up straight. Line everything up with the remote control or with the top. So you can take that out. That also works really well, especially for cars. I did my cars with that, and it worked really well for the cars. So this device is for an attachment for power tools such as sanders or something like that, so you can get all the dust to get it sucked out. I don't know what it works for, if it's universal or anything about it, but you would probably know if you do a lot of carpentry. So anyway, that's nice that it has it, and it has their spot. This is magnetic, so you just drop it on this thing. It's magnetic, and then it goes here. When you're storing it, you can store it here, and it's got a micro C. You pop it up from the thin side, and you pop that up carefully so you don't rip that apart. You pop that up, and it's actually kind of hard to get to. Like if you have fingernails or something, or you have a little knife or something, you can pop it up, and then it's a micro C. So if you have, it comes with a small micro C, but if you have any micro C charger cable, it'll work for that. I've actually charged it. And it took a couple hours to charge the remote. So I don't know how dead it was on delivery, but anyway, so that's that. Let's see what else is on board. And like I said, it has these, let's say if you're using a couple different things, it has this little temporary storage where you can leave some tools that you're using, you know, right here. So if you're constantly swapping them out, you don't have to keep putting them away and messing with the lid. You know, I would keep the lid this is the one thing I've run into that I thought was a little goofy. Like I have hardly any complaints with this, but when you put the cord up here, let's say I'm wrapping the cord around and storing it away or whatever, like so, you can't really open this. Okay, like it's not easy to get to, like even when I move that apart. So this thing has to be pulled off of there every time you pop that off. That's the only thing I find that kind of gets in the way or interferes as far as engineering wise, but otherwise pretty sweet. So anyway, let's check the blower part. So we pop this off, and then you got a blower part here. I'm not even sure I know which direction. Okay, right here. You can see the slots here for it. Once it pops in there, now all we have to do, let me take the speed down, hit start, and now we got, well, I don't know if you can feel that, but it definitely blows everything around. So anyway, oh, let me get this back. Okay. So the blower works pretty good. It doesn't have, oh, let me check the blower speed. Let me try to turbo blow this. Oh yeah. That's got a lot of power. That's a lot of power for the blower. So that's pretty interesting. You can use that to kind of blow out areas that you can't get to vacuum. So you just pop that off, and it, like I said, if you use those clips properly, you shouldn't have any issues with this. Oh, now if you want to clean the filter, okay, to clean the filter, all you do, I believe, at least, let me double check this. Yeah, you basically take the blower, put it on here, I'll put it at speed 1, and then when you run the blower, it blows it back into the system, so it cleans the filter, and all you do is press the filter button down. You see it shows a little diagram over in the corner. I don't know if you can check that out. The diagram right here. So it shows that you turn on, you set this here, and then this will blow the filter out. All you have to do is hit start, and then yep. So that's all you have to do to self-clean the filter, which I thought was an interesting feature for it. The filter is obviously pretty clean, so I don't think there's any issue there. So let's see, what else do we got going on? So I showed you the extensions, the attachments. Everything fits. The only thing that I couldn't find to fit, which I put in here somewhere. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Okay, I think I lost one of my pieces. Let me double check. So the other piece that I was just losing for some reason, and I put it away. The only piece I couldn't find as storage is the squeegee part. So for the wet dry vac, you know, and these things are very easy to put in. I'm going to show you really quick. Basically, you just line it up and you push it through here, and it should clip. Nope, that one didn't clip on. Hang on. There we go. Clips on. Well, that's not clipping on right. So let me, I might have it backwards. There might only be one way. You can see it's a little, no, it's a little turned. It's a little bit turned, so it wouldn't be this way, I don't think. Anyway, clips on. Wow, this is not wanting to clip on well. Okay, let me flip it around one more time. But anyway, you can see they have this little clip. You push it out, and then it'll slide it off, right? So I think it should be like so. And I'm not too sure why it's not clipping very well. Let's try it again. Because it definitely has to clip on or it's just going to fall off. Like this side clipped, but this one is not clipping on, which is weird. Yep. Super strange. So this is not lining up. I don't know if it's a defect. Let me see. Let me try it one more time the other way. Because otherwise it'll be kind of slippery. I mean, it's still on pretty, no. See, look. It's still on loose, so this has to clip on. Question is, why isn't it? I don't know. me take it off and let's try it again from this side. Yeah, it's not clipping on this side. That's what it is. Let me see if there's some issue with the construction of it. No, it looks fine on that end. Maybe it's just not quite getting all the way to it. There we go. There we go. So you got to make sure it lines up. Right here, there's a little slide there, and it's got to kind of line right up there. Now this one should go on. Should. Man, maybe I have to slide it all on at one time. It probably has to be lined up perfectly. This is not wanting to line up. I have not used this, so there we go. Let's see if I can straighten it up. Because it's a brand new piece. There we go. There we go. So now it clips on. You hear it clip on both of those? So, and it should be sitting up there. You see that? I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. It should be sitting way above it. It shouldn't be, you know, this thing's not going to fall out now. But anyway, that's good for doing the wet part of the vacuum. So popping it out again, you can see that. You just push that up there, push it through. Take this one, push it up, push it through. And that should come right off. See? And the other one that I've already been using a million times has no problems. Let me make sure I got this one on. There, see, that one snaps on, no problem, no issues. That has the brush on it, so it's good for brushing little crevices out as you're. I use this when I'm doing the vacuum because it has such strong vacuum power that you don't need to. See how it clips in? Make sure everything clips in properly too, and do not. I'm telling you, that will break if you're not taking it out properly. So I wouldn't. That's the one thing I would line up and make sure I. And that's pretty much it for just showing you. This is the only piece that doesn't store. So I was just storing it in here to the side because there's plenty of space in there. Close it up, take these guys off. You can see how quickly it is. So you can go from one piece to another. And again, obviously no plugs or anything. Now this battery, I've used, this is a 7.5 amp hour battery. Just like the regular Ego batteries, but a 5, I have a 4, a 5, and a 7.5. The 4 just gets eaten. This thing will eat up the 4 in less than like 20 minutes. You know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, it eats it up. This thing will last a little bit longer. Like, I just ran it a little bit. It was fully charged, and now it's still fully charged. So you can still, you know, it has the energy gauge on here, fuel gauge. That's what they call it. Okay, a couple more things I wanted to talk about. I got this from Acme Tools online, which was recommended by the Ego site as one of the places to buy. I bought it without the battery. I already had 3 batteries from other devices, so it was $500 with battery and charger included. And this was $299 without the battery and charger, because I already have 3 chargers and 3 batteries, so I didn't feel like I needed to get another battery and another charger personally. But if you're buying this first time and you don't have any other Ego tools, definitely get the battery. It's a 5 amp battery that comes with it, and it's got a charger, a regular charger. It's not the high speed charger, but it's got the regular charger with it. So I would recommend doing that. Maybe even having a backup battery. The batteries are very expensive. Like, the batteries are about, you know, 170 to 500 plus for batteries. I think you can buy a 2-pack of the biggest battery, 12 amp hour batteries for $1,000. So that's kind of, it depends on what, I mean, how many tools. I was considering on buying that as a backup for all of my tools. But right now the batteries are doing very well. I've had them for over a year. About a year and a half on all the batteries, and I don't have any problems with the batteries. I mean, yeah, there's maybe some battery degradation, but it's not so severe that it really matters a lot. One of my batteries, the 4 amp, overheats very quickly though. So if I'm using it on turbo or something, the battery might overheat even when it has, let's say, 3 fuel bars, it'll kind of overheat. So I don't run that battery at a high rate. I don't know if that's a defective issue or what, or I was probably running a 4 amp hour battery with devices that should have a higher battery. You know, that's me not knowing what I was doing probably. So, but anyway, that's the story. $299. I mean, if you look online at Dyson vacuums and some other vacuums, they're running $200, $300, $400, $500 for vacuums. To me, $300 for this or $500 with all the batteries and everything, the battery and charger, is definitely worth it. You know, I just, you know, thought I didn't need the batteries specifically, but now that I look back on it, I probably should have got the battery and charger, because it would have only been $200 for a 5 amp hour battery. If you go to buy one by itself, it costs more than $200. So, and that's without the charger. So, obviously they try to make it a better deal that way. So, but anyway, that's all I can pretty much think of. If you have any questions or anything about it, like, I read the whole manual and everything, and I'm trying to think about anything. Oh, so the last thing I could think about is when you're charging this up, okay? When you're charging that up, it'll flash green slowly when it's almost charged. I think fast when it's charging, and it'll be solid green when it's fully charged. So it's green no matter what. It's just how it's flashing. Okay, so that's when it comes to that, when it comes to the remote control. And it comes with that cable. It comes with one of the bags, so that's not going to help. You need multiple bags. I'm surprised they didn't include 2 bags at least. But I don't know how much the bags are going to cost, or, where they sell them yet, because this is such a new product. They just released it. And let's see, what else do we have here? And I think I pretty much covered everything that is included here. I don't think there's any other accessories that you can buy for it that I'm aware of, besides batteries or an extra battery pack or whatever. So that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions of something that you're like, well, how does this work or that work, just leave it in the comments.